It's 4:30 in the morning, got a full moon, and we're ready to leave Dominica. Sail to Martinique. We don't really need to leave this early, but I like early starts and I wasn't sleeping anyway. Now we've just gotta get the mainsail raised, drop the mooring, and we'll be out of here. Cat's still asleep, so I'm gonna try to do it all really quietly. Alright, got the mainsail up. Already have a reef set because even though it's calm in here, as soon as we pass by Scott's Head on the south end of Dominica, I think the wind's gonna be whipping. So just doing it in preparation now, particularly because it's easier to do it while I'm on the mooring since I'm by myself than trying to do it out there. Engine started. Looks like Cat might have just woke up now that there's a bit more swell. Bouncing around a little bit more. Morning, Cat. You look kind of sleepy.
We left an hour and a half earlier than we planned to leave.
Yeah? Well, I couldn't sleep.
Yeah, I was asleep. I didn't sleep very well. With that unbearably early start, we left Dominica and headed to Martinique. Over the next few days, we sailed down the island in every condition imaginable, from getting walloped in 30 knots of wind to smooth and really relaxing conditions. We only stopped briefly at the anchorages along the way because we needed to get to our destination, Le Marin, where we would pick up our friend and crew member for the next 3 weeks.
So this is my buddy Tim. We went to school together in North Carolina and met each other through the sailing club and went on a lot of adventures on Hobie Cats and Flying Scots all over
Tiny boats of death.
Yeah. Did a lot of screwing around on boats on the East Coast. We picked him up in Le Marin, Martinique about 3 weeks ago.
And immediately started freediving and spearfishing the next day. We met up with this local Rasta guy. His name was Desmond. He sounded a bit nuts, but was really into spearfishing, kind of makes his second living doing spearfishing, and said that he would take us out and kind of show us around for some of the reefs.
He's not
an official guide.
No. And he just was like, okay, no problem.
We'll go fishing together.
Yeah.
Why not?
So we found ourselves trying to keep up with this guy that was older but in great shape and just didn't stop going further and further.
Yeah, we probably got a solid half mile, 3/4 of a mile away from the dinghy when one little plastic clip, one little pin on my fin strap broke. And things got interesting real fast.
Okay. Okay. Do you guys want to go that and I'll go tell Desmond I'll meet you, or?
Did you get over there, Sid?
I think so.
Yeah, where is he?
He's that way.
Walk past him, huh?
You wanted me to go back to the tin?
No, let's work on it together.
Alright, be careful.
We'll come back to the dinghy. It got a little hairy, so I'm not in
digging deep
great
on
shape.
my yogi training that I've been picking up from this freediving book and just trying to stay calm and not freak out because I was looking at the bottom and I was not moving over the bottom. No
And
matter how hard I was kicking.
Yeah, we were kicking. So there were many times where Kat and I would look up at each other and be like, "Are you okay?" Like, "Yeah, I'm okay. There's nothing wrong here. Let's just keep going." And there was a few moments of slight panic. I knew if my fin broke again, all hell was gonna break loose. That's what it looks like. That's what it's supposed to look like. This part's gone.
Man.
One little plastic pin did all of that damage. That was brutal.
Lesson learned. go out with somebody who is trusted as a guide, and maybe don't go swimming offshore for your first passage.
So despite the grueling swim back to the dinghy, I guess it did pay off that we were in decent shape, because then we went and dove for another hour and actually shot something.
You shot a cavali, which are
That's what the Rost is calling.
Oh yeah, what are they like?
It's
barjack.
Barjack. It was fine.
Yeah, it tasted great.
It wasn't very big, but still it was a pretty decent tasting fish. It was a mixed experience going spearfishing with Desmond. Not quite what we expected.
Fishing is also my new hobby, and that's been met with varying degrees of frustration and success.
This is Kat making her fishing line.
We're gonna eat good! An expert fisherwoman. At the moment I am not. We have all the lines tangled up, and I'm trying to not huck our dinghy. But it's a big old mess, so I'm just trying to reel everything in. What happened?
Engine overheated.
We pushed it too hard chasing fish.
Alright, so how's this for a good roll reversal? It is about 4:30. Will is back on the boat making dinner, and I am working on my dinghy fishing techniques. I'm equipped with some beer, and I have a janky hand reel around a water bottle.
Okay, so we may have caught a fish.
You want me to correct cockpit?
Get him, Will!
We're on my toes.
Oh, jeez. It's dead?
That's a good hit.
That's a good hit. Solid.
We caught one. It's a barracuda. And normally we wouldn't eat these, but we're far enough south that there's no ciguatera risk, and all the locals say they are delicious.
It's a big fish.
So, alright. Alright, so Tim's gonna teach us how to fillet. Tim, why are you qualified to teach us?
I worked at a Cajun restaurant for a little while when I was a kid, but a little out of my element, so we'll see how it goes.
Alright, sounds good. Oh, wow.
So then we're gonna start behind the head, cut down, and yeah, let's go just behind the fin, around like that. And then basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fillet his kind of top half,
Okay.
so this portion, down to where this slit has already started,
Okay.
because I can feel his backbone right there.
Okay.
And once I get to there, then I'll fillet this section,
Okay.
and then finish it off with
Okay,
that.
that sounds like a good plan. And now you're just sort of riding along his spine
Ribs,
bone?
yep.
Nice job,
Not too bad.
Yeah, that looks
Look
great.
a little bit right there. I think I even did better on this side.
Alright, so these are the fillets we're having for lunch. This is half of the barracuda, and each one of them is about 6 inches long. I'm going to do it with a little coconut oil and some Cajun spices we got in Martinique, and pan fry them.
Next day we motored on down to the Pitons though, and that was an experience.
We are passing the Batons right now, which is the most dramatic island structure that we've seen. I don't think we're going to be able to get our boat over to the Pacific, at least not on this trip. Maybe sometime in the future, but this is kind of exactly what I imagine sailing around the South Pacific to be like.
Pitons are these two vertical mountains that just shoot up out of the sea, and there's a bay in between the two of these, maybe a half-mile wide, and you can anchor it right there between them. And despite it being the most spectacular, dramatic landscape that we've anchored in on this whole trip, I think we were the second boat to anchor there, and maybe 2 more came in that night. Very surprising. Generally anywhere that's even remotely pretty has 50 boats tucked into it down here, so it was kind of a rare treat to have this beautiful place almost to ourselves.
Yep. We harvested some coconuts, and apparently we're supposed to mix it with gin, not rum. I think it tastes pretty good.
Do you think it's island guys messing with you?
Could definitely be. This could be like drop bears.
Well, it's an English island, and the English have an appreciation for gin.
It kind of tastes like drinking salt water.
We had a couple days where there's just no wind at all, which is rare in the trade winds.
Another just crazy calm day. There is no wind to speak of. Everything's just kind of flipping. Got St. Lucia in the background. St. Vincent. You can start to see in the distance. If conditions stay like this, we're gonna try going for a swim halfway through because as you can see I'm covered up. It is hot and it is sunny. This is the first truly unsafe thing I feel like we've done.
It's a little rolling.
Oh my god!
Careless in our summer clothes, splashing around in the muck and the mire. Careless in our summer clothes, splashing around in the muck and the mire.
Yeah, that's a really unnerving feeling to go swimming in that deep of water.
I thought it felt alright.
If you lose a piece of jewelry or something,
oh, it's not coming back.
Well, yeah, but by the time you get back on the boat, get to your anchorage that you're headed to, drop hook, make dinner, eat it, and go to sleep, maybe it's at the bottom.
Is this your opinion as an engineer? Is that accurate?
I don't know about how accurate that would be.
And then we got to
St.
Chateaubelair, the first anchorage on the north end of St. Vincent. Hello, St. Vincent. We are in Chateaubelair. St. Vincent is probably a really lovely place, but unfortunately it seems to have some security problems. We decided, okay, we would just overnight there, not even check in, not get off the boat there. And that's what we did. We got there in the afternoon, made dinner, fell asleep, and got out of there at 7 in the morning. I just got a bad vibe. And there was a boat full of probably 6 young guys that were kind of yelling out not very savory things to our boat about cat, and I slept in the cockpit with a winch handle.
No, a flare gun.
A flare gun, a winch handle, a spotlight, and an air horn in
And the
close
spotlight
reach.
came into good use.
Yeah, I spotlighted 2 times at 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning. I woke up and heard the sound of outboards running. And there's no good reason to be driving around in a boat at 3 or 4 in the morning. And so I spotlighted the boats and let them know that I knew they were there, and they weren't close to us. I'm sure they weren't doing anything related to us, but it was just it was a weird vibe. So
yeah, we got in and out of St. Vincent pretty quick.
Yeah, headed to Beckway the next day.
Up next, we pass through the Grenadines and make it down to the furthest point south on our trip, Grenada. We also attempt to tackle boat projects and deal with a dinghy outboard that suddenly stops working.